What's up, people? YouTube, this is Earlier, bringing you guys another video to my channel, and today we're going to talk about the Black Ops 4 beta. So obviously you guys know that the Black Ops 4 beta just passed. It was over as of yesterday, and I didn't make a single video the entire time that the beta was out. I actually had a video ready to go for my first gameplay from the beta, my first impressions, my first actual game playing, but I ended up scrapping it because I didn't really like it. I didn't want to just upload it to upload it. And by the time I was ready to upload it, it was like 2 days after the beta started. And it just didn't seem like a very good idea. So I did want to make a video kind of talking about my first impressions of the beta, how it went, how it played, the pros and cons basically, and the things I'm not really sure about yet. This is probably going to be kind of a longer video. You guys are going to see some Black Ops 4 beta gameplay in the background, of course, and I just want to go ahead and start off by saying right away that if you guys could go ahead and like the video, it would mean a lot to me. It really helps my channel grow and helps to get it out there, and go ahead and subscribe if you do like Call of Duty content and Fortnite, because more of that is definitely coming to the channel, and multiple other things like vlogs and stuff very, very, very soon in the near future. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button. So the other thing I want to start off by saying is, by and large, I did really like the beta. I do like Black Ops 4 starting off right now, and I think that's going to be a pretty easy to guess thing, considering I just really like Treyarch games. I always have. Although I will say that this one has been the closest to dislike for me in terms of Treyarch games since Black Ops 1. That's a negative, and that's because of how much they've changed the game. But I'm going to get into all that. The first thing I'm going to start with is the pros of the game. What did I like the most of the beta so far with how all of this is going? So the first thing I want to talk about is the healing. I think that was the biggest controversy, was how is the healing going to work with this game, in terms of, you know, Call of Duty's always been self-regen, pretty much. And I don't think people were really sure how they were going to feel about the healing. I think most people wrote it off as a bad decision, and automatically said, no, that's bad. And at first I did too, but after watching and seeing other people's opinions and how they explained it, I came around to the idea of it. So then once I actually played the beta and started using the healing, I absolutely love it. By far, out of everything that's in this game so far in the beta, the healing mechanic is my favorite. I'm so glad that they put that in there. I think it adds a whole nother level of skill to the game, because I can't tell you how many times, you might even see it in the gameplay, I killed people who had not been in a gunfight for a very, very long time, and they chose to just sit there and wait to heal, or I'm sure they realized that they couldn't wait to heal, but they just sat there, and obviously they just didn't heal themselves, and they were really easy targets to kill. So I think that's going to add a whole nother skill level to healing as soon as you can, knowing when to heal. It's a tactical thing in the game that I'm really, really happy with. I'm glad that they added it. The next thing is sliding. It's a small thing. Sliding is back. I'm very excited about that. I'm very happy. Call of Duty, please. Infinity Ward, you've been good about it, but Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and especially Sledgehammer, never get rid of sliding again. Just don't. No, there's literally no reason to not have sliding in the game. Just please always have sliding. Thank you. The next thing we're going to talk about here is moving and movement in general. I think that the movement in this game so far has been very, very smooth. It's crispy. I don't feel like at any point I'm really sluggish, really. I feel like it's a really smooth transition. Like that was what was so good about Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2, is once I got in my groove, my shot was on, I was snappy, I was able to move quick and turn, and I felt like I had full control of my player. And I don't think that World War II is necessarily not smooth, but it's definitely more clunky than this game is. And I have a lot of trouble being smooth with my player, with my character in World War II than I do in Black Ops 4, at least in the beta. And then Infinite Warfare was smooth too. It was pretty crisp and clean, but there's something about Infinite Warfare where every single life feels so fragile, like you're not ready to fight. And so the movement in this game in Black Ops 4 as of now is very, very satisfying to me. I think it's in a very, very, very good spot. The next one here is the recoil. So if you guys did not notice, the recoil patterns on the guns are all the same for every single gun. Like, each gun, the recoil isn't going to change every time you shoot it. It's not going to have random recoil. It's going to be the same recoil pattern every time you shoot that gun, and that allows you to get used to that recoil pattern and learn it and get really, really good with that. And I'm happy with that. I think that's a good addition to the game. I think that's going to add, once again, another level of skill and learning when it comes to playing Call of Duty, and that's something that I think the game needs at this point. The next one here is the specialists. I think that not all of them, most specialists, I would say pretty much all of them with the exception of maybe one. I'm probably missing something, but pretty much all of them that I can think of off the top of my head, I was okay with them. They felt less overpowered than Black Ops 3. They felt like they each had a pretty good use depending on the game mode that you were playing, and because of that, I was perfectly fine with most of the specialists in the game. The only thing I don't like about specialists is I don't feel like I can own that specialist. Like in World War II and Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare, games like that, I have my own character that I could customize and make look however I want with whatever stuff that I got, and I liked that about those games. So I don't know how I feel about that part of the specialist, just like I didn't really like that too much in Black Ops 3, but I'm sure they're going to have some really cool skins, so I'm looking forward to that. The next one here is the SMGs, and most people are going to disagree with me here, but I have a solution to the SMG issue. I think that for the most part, the SMGs are perfectly fine. I think that the second SMG you unlock might need a slight buff, and I think by and large all the other SMGs need a nerf in their range, because you shouldn't be able to map people the way you do with them. But I think that aside from that, the SMGs are fine. They're powerful. I like that. They're good. What needs to change is the assault rifles, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. The next thing I want to talk about is I really like the secondaries. Both pistols in the beta were really, really good. I felt like if I had a pistol out, I stood a chance. In World War II, even with the machine pistol, I don't feel like I stand a chance if I'm going up against a PPSH. You know, if I'm getting shot at, I run out of ammo and I switch to my secondary.
Behind you.
In any Call of Duty game, with the exception of this one, well, not any Call of Duty game, but most Call of Duty games with the exception of this one, I don't feel like I stand a chance in defending myself. It's just like, oh, this is, I guess, just a last-ditch effort. Let me shoot at him. And most would argue that's how secondary should feel, but I think in an arcade shooter, you should be able to take any gun and do well with it if you choose to get good at it, and I just don't think there was really an option to get good at the secondaries in World War II. They were just kind of there. The next one here is the sniper rifles. I like the way that sniping is being done so far in this game. It's smooth. It's so smooth. Probably the smoothest we've ever had in a Call of Duty game in terms of ADSing with a sniper rifle. It's really, really quick. There isn't any aim assists, which I'm not a huge sniper. I'm not really good at it, so that's a negative for me. But when I did use the sniper rifles, I had quite a bit of fun with them. The other thing is, when I first started using the sniper rifle in Black Ops 4, right off the bat, I ran into the middle building on Seaside, I think is what it's called, right through the middle with the tank in there, and I quick scoped, and I got double headshot collateral. First kills with the sniper rifle in Black Ops 4, and it felt really, really good. I actually got another really good clip on the last day of the beta, which was nice too. The last thing I want to talk about is the DMR rifles, or the burst or single shot rifles. I have been wanting this back since Call of Duty Ghosts. I don't know why they add all of the assault rifles together. I mean, I do get it because they're all assault rifles, but it just adds more variety. Give us DMRs, give us regular assault rifles. I don't think that's that hard of a thing to understand, and I'm glad that they finally did that. I thought that all of the DMRs were pretty strong. I felt like they were in a good spot. One of them might be considered a little overpowered. I think it was the AMG. It was the one that looked like an AUG. That one might be a little bit OP, but I think that was like the strongest AR in the entire game in terms of rifles. But I did enjoy using that, and I like that there's a DMR class. Next one here is just the flow of the game. I think that it flows very nicely. I think that it flows differently than other Treyarch games, which once again, this is something else I'm going to get into here in a minute. But it flows nice. I like when I get into gunfights. I like when I get into engagements. When I do get into engagements and I kill somebody, it feels so rewarding, especially when I can turn on someone else, get 1, 2, maybe even 3 kills, which is very rare, by the way, in this game because of the health. So the flow is nice. I enjoy that, and I think it should stay how it is for the most part in regards to that. The last thing I want to talk about for absolute pros is the colors. Obviously, Treyarch always just kills it when it comes to colors in their maps, and I think that this year is another really good year for color in their game, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the maps look like. We already know, let me think here, we already know of 1, 2, 3, 4, we got 5 maps in the beta, and then we know of 4 that we're getting. That right there is your 9 maps. We don't even know what the rest of the maps are, and World War II launched with the 9 maps. So I'm excited to see here what's going on with the map count. I think we're going to end up somewhere around 15 maps, guys, and that's pretty exciting if I do say so myself. Let's get into the ones that I'm not really sure how I feel about. I don't see them as super big negatives, but I don't also see them as positives either. The first one here is the maps. This might come as a surprise because I've always loved Treyarch maps, and I think in this game, so far, in the beta, these are probably the weakest Treyarch maps that we have seen, and it kills me to say that. But with that being said, I also don't hate them. I still enjoy them. I like them. Like I just said, the flow is nice, but they don't feel like traditional Treyarch maps, and I don't like that. Once again, we're going to have to wait and see what the rest of the maps are like. We know that we're getting Slums. We know that we're getting Summit, Nuketown, Firing Range, and Jungle, which those are classic Treyarch maps that are going to flow and feel like Treyarch maps, and that's 5 launch maps. So in regards to that, I think we're going to be covered. It kind of makes up for them changing things up a bit, and I'm sure that the other maps that we don't know about in the game, at least 2 or 3 of those are still going to feel like Treyarch maps. So I'm not too worried about it, and I don't hate the way that they play now, but it does feel like there's just a lot of random doors and ways for players to navigate the map, and I don't like that as much. I miss there being 3 distinct lanes with a couple of side opportunities inside those lanes, but 3 main distinct lanes, and being able to watch those choke points and potentially flank around. And these maps, it seems like there's 3 main lanes. I can still see the main lanes in the maps, but then there's like 6 different routes that you can get around on almost every single map, and I don't really like that. But that's okay. It's something to adapt to. Like I said, I don't hate them, but I do kind of wish they just would have left their map design alone. Next one here is the health system. This is probably the most controversial. A lot of people are going to say this is a con. I think this is kind of an in-between thing. I think that if they nerfed the health to like 125 instead of 150, it would be okay, because I find myself running into a lot of situations where I can really tell the difference in the health. And man, is it frustrating. Sometimes it's insanely frustrating. It doesn't happen all that often. I'd say probably like 15% of the time. 15% of my gunfights I get into, I can really notice that health increase. Once again, it's something that I can deal with if we have to. I don't hate it that it's 150, but I would really like it if they were to bump it down to like 125, even if they put it at 100. But I understand that then that kind of impacts how the guns are balanced and affected and stuff. So I understand it. Once again, don't hate it, but really appreciate a little bit of a change. Next one here is the streaks. So the streaks in the game, most people, once again, would say this is a con. I don't hate them. I feel like they might be a little bit hard to earn for what they're worth because they're not super powerful. A lot of the ones that I used, the Mantis is absolutely garbage. The strafing run was horrible. The lightning strike was pretty good. Obviously the predator missile, lightning drone thing, I can't think of what it's called. That one was pretty good as well. Hellstorm is what it's called. RCXD controls are weird, but I do still like it in terms of damage and stuff. UAV was nice. I got the thing with the 2 dudes, the strike team. That was good. I liked that. I think that played well. The sentry gun was bad. So there needs to be some changes made. If they just make the damage a little bit better, you know, the effectiveness of some of these, then I think the streaks are perfectly fine how they are, with the exception of, obviously, I think there should be more than what they showed in the beta, but that's pretty much it. Next one here for my kind of in-between feelings is shotguns. I think that shotguns are a little bit weak for what they are. I understand that they're secondaries, and I completely agree with them being secondaries. I think that's a really good spot for them to be. But I think that if you are touching somebody with a shotgun, if you're within like 3 feet of a person to 5 feet, you still deserve a one-shot kill in most cases with a shotgun. If you're getting upper chest and head area, and that person doesn't have any body armor on, I think you definitely deserve a one-shot kill for a situation like that. So I think shotguns might need to be tweaked a little bit as well. Now let's get into the cons of the Black Ops 4 beta. What was it that I just really did not like? Things that I think definitely need to change, and things that are less than fun at this point in the game. So the first one here is I think that the assault rifles need to be buffed pretty much across the board, with the exception to the DMRs, if you consider them assault rifles now. But the full automatic assault rifles that I used need to be increased and buffed across the board. I don't exactly know where. Part of me wants to say damage. Part of me wants to say range. Or I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I think ultimately it's just going to come down to damage. I think the damage needs to be increased by shots to kill like 1 bullet, roughly across all of them. I just think they kill too slow, and all of these maps were really made for SMGs, it felt like. So maybe once we get more into the actual game, we'll see guns that perform better for actual assault rifles. Like I know Jungle is going to work well with assault rifles. Summit works pretty well with assault rifles. Firing range is okay. So we're just going to have to wait and see how it goes. I think that assault rifles still need a buff, though, regardless. And I'm definitely more of an assault rifle player than anything else. So it makes me sad to see that they're not getting as much love as I feel like they should be. Next one here is the Seraph Spawn Beacon. A lot of people cannot stand this thing. I don't hate it. Absolutely. I don't know if it has a place in this game. I think they got rid of the tac insert for a reason, and now they inserted one that makes you spawn your entire team. Like, I just don't know. I think it needs to go. I don't think there's really any way around nerfing this. I just don't think it really fits in the game, and it doesn't annoy me that much when it is there, but I know it's going to end up being a problem. I know that I'm gonna get very upset with it. So just off of that alone, I think that it is it's more than time for this thing to be gone. And I know that they're not going to do that, but I feel like that's how it should be. Next one here is the 5v5 concept. I played a lot of 6v6 TDM. That's pretty much all I played. I just don't think that Call of Duty should be 5v5 ever. I didn't notice a huge difference, but there were some games where I felt like I was just searching for people. I don't see a reason to do that. I don't fix what isn't broken. I think 6v6 was fine. I don't agree with it being 5v5. I think it should be 6v6 in any mode. Next one here is I don't agree with the fact that you can only choose one specialist per person on every single team when you're not playing Chaos, TDM, or whatever. I think that this shouldn't, because I understand how these specialists work now, I don't think this should be unlimited, but I think you should have 2 per team. You should be able to have 2 per team in all game modes, and I think that's fair. Because I think if you're doing challenges for these characters, it's not horribly unlikely that you're not going to be able to get one of those 2 slots by the time you play. And I already know it's going to be like, get so many kills with this specialist ability in one game, right? And you can't do that in a 75 kill TDM where you might get your specialist ability once a game. So it's something that they're going to have to definitely take a look at. One other thing that I think needs to change is that we need to see a change in the ammo count. I think the ammo count needs to go up. Don't think there's enough bullets per weapon right now in the game. This is something that I think is going to be very, very frustrating. You can get like 5, maybe 6 kills with the amount of bullets that come in like your SMG or your AR. I mean, you get like 4 magazines and that is it. So I think that the amount of bullets that you carry on your weapon without any additional attachments, perks, whatever, that needs to go up by at least like a couple magazines. I think that's only fair. Now the next thing here, the biggest complaint that I have for the entire beta, the biggest issue that I had was the fact that it was the spawns. I think that the spawns were just really, really bad. I don't like how the spawns worked, and I'm sure it's something that they're already aware of and working on, but spawns need to change. I can't tell you how many times I spawned directly in front of somebody and died, or directly behind somebody and got a cheap, easy kill, or right around the corner from someone. it definitely needs some work. This is the worst spawn system I've seen in a Treyarch game to date, and that means something. So I really hope to take a look at that and get that fixed. But aside from that, I really did enjoy the game by and large. I think it's going to be a good year. I miss the beta so much. It's Monday night. The beta is no longer active, and I just want to play so much, and I can't. So it's kind of a bummer, but that is pretty much everything that I have to say about the beta, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down in the comment sections below, and deuces.